And good morning, everyone. It is finally Friday. My goodness, and it is hot as the dickens out there. Let me tell you, gonna be 94 today with a heat index of 105. Here I've been bitching about the rain, and now I can get to bitch about hell. OJ doesn't know what to do. He has no idea what to do. Actually, it's gonna be hotter where Shonda is. Yep, it's gonna be hotter where you are. Woo! And today is the summer solstice. Woo! What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? Man, had to drain the pool yesterday. You know, my leg's still all messed up, so let's see if I can get my fat ass in there with my Temu glasses and float around. Whew! Just Me said, how about you keep that stuff? How about I send you some more rain, Susan? How about I send you some more rain? Lisa said, I'll take the heat and you can have the rain. The rain has been crazy. We have had so much rain. Who is having issues with mosquitoes? Because it's rained so much, we have standing water and there's mosquitoes everywhere. OJ feels like he's in Jurassic Park when he goes outside. I don't know if you saw my Facebook. You know, OJ's been having a really hard time. Uli, for my birthday, sent me a rubber snake to put in the garden. By the way, the garden is overgrown with all the cow manure and the rain. So I was going to put the snake out there. Well, OJ seems to think it's real, and he's constantly beating it up. First off, I want to say thank you so much to Kimberly Mann for the super sticker. Thank you. You are awesome. And look at this, Broken Goth doll. Way to go, girl. You back. Well, I'll tell you what, a lot of stuff going on. With the Lily and Jack case, that is for sure. Well, first, should I make an announcement now or later? Let me think about it. I am perplexed on what to say. Because one, I feel I need to make an apology to someone. Yesterday, we had a show. A pre-recorded show, okay? True story, we did. And it was about our friend, Big T, Big T's farm life. I mean, hell, half of you are friends with her on Facebook, or you've seen her in her modding, or you just, you're around. She's extremely ill. Extremely ill. Well, someone who has been in and out of the channel gets mad, comes back, thought it was the appropriate time to insult her. She sent me some horrible messages after the show for Michelle. Horrible messages. Michelle saw them. She couldn't believe what was said. Listen, we never compare illnesses. We never say things like, I've got the same thing, but nobody cares about me. So, yes, I did remove a moderator. I'm sure she'll be back because she is a friend. We do like her. But as for right now, until apologies are made, Aggie will not be here. Okay? So, she got very upset with me yesterday, and she goes, there you go again. You lost another moderator. No, I didn't lose a moderator. I removed one. So, my most humble apologies to Big T, who is actually listening right now and is getting dialysis done. I'm not sure why somebody would do that to you during, a show that you wanted me to put out so she could tell everyone. By the way, it's still listed. It's under videos. It's right there. I was horrified, and there's no way I can make up for it. But keep in mind, we all have bad days. Okay? If everybody could please put something in here for Big T, she would love seeing it, particularly after what she saw yesterday. And we're back. And we're back. Again, many apologies to Big T. That should never have happened. And I don't like tackiness. I don't like stuff like that. But she's in a world of hurt, and, well, we love her. Let's take a second and welcome our friends and say, hey, how you doing? You enjoying the heat, the mosquitoes, and the swamp-like condition in Brooks's backyard? Always been a motto. Always been a motto. Agree to disagree, and we're friends at the end. But we do not attack people that are, well, not doing well. All right. We're talking about Jack and Lily today. Yes, we are. $150,000 reward. Now, I don't know if that's in Canadian currency. I don't know how that develops into the US dollar. Way above my pay grade. Way above my pay grade. Trying to put two and two together, which isn't my forte because I'm not a detective. Seems to me that the police aren't buying a damn thing they've been told. Because that was a real fast reward. 6 weeks? 6 weeks. $150,000 for information. Now, if the children were abducted or wandered off, nobody's going to come forward. You think some kidnapper is going to go, oh yeah, I got the kids right here, let me call in? No. You think if the kids actually are lost in the woods, they're going to go, hey, Bear, can I borrow your cell phone and so I can call and you can get the reward? And the case has turned into a circus. But first, I'm going to go through your comments from the last show. Annie Ruler said if Mom was afraid Daniel's mom would find out the kids got out again. In parentheses, she said, my guess is why would Mom have big emotion about them escaping again? I feel like Daniel's mom won the most. Kids, noises gone. Son secure. Just saying, polygraph them all. I agree. A lot of prayers for Jack. A lot of prayers for Jack and Lily. Scorpio said she probably called the school early because they have to go on the school bus, which needs to be notified early 6 a.m. Makes sense. That part might make sense to me. But what doesn't make sense is there was no school on Wednesday. Supposedly, the two children were sick. They're seen out on Thursday. And then a call was made on Friday that they're missing. Now, you can't tell me that no one looked for them. You can't tell me that. No. Gaelic girls. OJ, what the hell are you doing over there? You can lick your asshole in the other room, not on my time. You just knocked off a picture of my son. You wouldn't have knocked off a picture yourself. That's very rude, OJ. Gaelic girl said, sorry, mom should have been there. Neither paternal or maternal parent are advocating for these beautiful children. At an RCMP station with Ellie present, no one would do anything untoward the mom. Lily and Jack had a dog. Did it follow them? As for Lily, she was found. Okay, OJ, that's enough. As for Lily, that was found. The 24-hour period shows how important getting that call out ASAP makes all the difference. Just sounds to me like Lily was excited for the cake and her brother's birthday. Yeah, a lot of people were really upset about the video that came out from their Facebook where she was screaming. Anyone ever hear a kid scream in excitement? Anyone? To the point where you're like, can you stop? Rexy said, according to a family member of hers, is that someone in her family picked them up at the end of the driveway. Mother planned to leave also, but police got there too quick. They are with her family. That is the rumor. So why is there a $150,000 reward? If old girl wants to skate, you're not married to Daniel. Just say, I got my shit packed. I'm leaving. That's it. Why all this? It makes no sense. It makes absolutely no sense. And miracles do happen. Let's look at this. A little Montreal toddler named Clarabel, and she is beautiful. She is beautiful. Rexy said, I heard she's on the run. No, she's living with her mom. She's living with her mom. She's living with her mom. And again, you want to escape from old boy? Go ahead and do it. Go ahead and do it. But this whole hiding out on the res and all that stuff, it just doesn't make sense to me. There is way too much investigative work going on for someone to know where the children are. All right, so Clarabel was found.
Joining us, Mitsumi is off tonight. It is a story that has captivated people across the province, and many were fearing the worst after a frantic 4-day search for a missing Montreal toddler. Well, late this afternoon came the confirmation of an outcome that everyone had been hoping for. 3-year-old Clarabel found alive, safe and sound after a large-scale police operation spanning Quebec and Ontario. This is an image of her in a police car shortly after she was found, courtesy.
Brandy Johnson said, is there some kind of domestic situation where he wouldn't let her leave? I don't doubt anything when it comes to people's personal lives. I don't doubt anything. And I mean nothing. But these are her children, not his. And the most dangerous time for a woman is when she's leaving. Okay? You're leaving an abusive relationship, and I don't know what was going on there. I have no idea. That's a very dangerous time for a woman. However, it wouldn't take any time to say, the kids are with me, I want to leave. Is she that scared of getting, well, in this country, it'd be called a misdemeanor for hiding her own kids? For some reason, I'm very suspect of her. I really am. I don't know why. I don't know why.
Of her colleagues at Nouveau Info. The little girl was found wandering alone near a highway in Ontario. Denise Roberts joins us live from Coteau-du-Lac. And Denise, I can just imagine a lot of emotion after the announcement from police this afternoon.
Well, Maya, I think we were all feeling so much emotion as the news came in late this afternoon that Clarabel was found alive. She was found alone at the side of the 417, and that information came from a tip today from a woman, an important witness that police met. This woman was located in St. Albert on a farm there, and from there police were able to conduct a drone search along the 417 where they located Claire alone but alive. And as they were sharing this news, Maya, I can tell you, we were all feeling the emotion because day 4 of a search, you do not expect this kind of news.
The news anchor is crying. She is crying. Well, I know 10 of you shouldn't be crying because look, Angel P just donated 10 Crime Lines and Lies memberships. If you received a free membership, please keep it up. Keep up the good work and tell Angel P thank you.
But we were so grateful to hear, and the searchers, everyone involved, there were cheers, there were clapping, cars were honking their horns. It was just a beautiful scene because really we don't have the answers yet of how this little girl survived 4 days, but she is alive, and we do know that she is in hospital right now where she is being just checked over to ensure that she is in good condition. But here's more from the police on the condition when they found her today.
She was speaking with the police officer. She was alive. We provided some first aid in water and food for now, and she's been taken care by the paramedics. So the priority is just to make sure she is okay. How is she healthy? And so that's the priority. And I know you all have a lot of questions about how is this possible, or how she been discovered? Where has she?
That is my question about Clarabel. Was she honestly wandering around all this time, or did somebody else drop her off? Well, somebody dropped something off here. Shonda Delaney, another one of my Okie friends, gifted 5 Crime Lines and memberships. 5 Crime Lines and Lies memberships. I should know the name of my own channel.
How is this possible, or how she been discovered? Where has she been? I have the same questions myself, but all I can tell you right now is we're happy that she's alive.
Well, that's exactly it, Denise. I mean, there are still so many unanswered questions here, but police are expected to give more details later tonight.
Yes, there's going to be a press conference held by the OPP NSQ at 7 p.m. and that will be in St. Albert. That's the location where she was last seen, where she was discovered today. And so we will hopefully get some more answers of just what happened in the days in between. And but for now, Maya, it's really a time to just be grateful that this story has the outcome that it did.
All right, thank you.
What a brave little girl. Again, stranger things can happen. But in the case of Jack and Lily, $150,000 reward. I know a lot of people were arguing, saying, there was no party, there was no party, there was no party. Okay, well, define a party. Several neighbors have said that the night before they were seen out in town, that a lot of people were there. Okay? Many people have said to me it's because it's first of the month. Everyone had money. and they were having a little get together. I'm just going to call it a get together. I don't believe all these people are lying, and I don't believe in your own community you're going to lie like that when children are missing. 2 children are missing. 2 children, okay? A lot of people keep talking about this damn polygraph. I do not know why people go on and on and on and on and on about these polygraphs. If a polygraph, whether it is confirmed they're lying or confirmed they're telling the truth, whatever you want to call it, if that was ironclad, stuff would be solved a lot easier. People want to keep talking about this. These polygraphs don't mean shit to us, and something people don't want to hear. The different alerts don't mean shit to us either. It is the way for law enforcement to communicate. Okay? I get an Amber Alert on my phone. Listen, I go to like 4 different places during the week, okay? I've got work, grocery store, gas station, and home. Seriously, that's it, okay? The odds of me seeing a child that's an Amber Alert are slim to none. It is for law enforcement to communicate. And sometimes someone does recognize a child. That's true. Sometimes they do. And that's a good thing. That is a good thing. But this polygraph shit, especially when the only ones that can confirm it are the ones that took it, is ridiculous. Crazy. I don't get it. I don't get it. All right, let's go through what we know so far.
Authorize and start getting some search teams going to the Gerlach location.
Radio chatter. Search crews and first responders mobilizing in a quest no one dreamed would take this long.
Brandy Johnson said they can't use poly in courts, right? That was my question, and it was cleared up because I don't live in Canada. I know in the United States, nope. And it's the same way in Canada. Can't happen. Fun fact. You know, you can use, here's a weird thing. In Italy, you can use a polygraph against someone, even though it's not scientifically proven, even though they're only allowed to ask so many questions, even though I don't care who you're talking to, is under duress. And don't get me wrong, I'm not on the side of the wrong. No. At all. But to me, that's a little crazy. That is a little crazy. But no, cannot be used in court in Canada either.
Long.
Make sure mom stays close to the house there in case they happen to sneak out and get back into the house.
A home deep in rural Nova Scotia, 140 kilometers northeast of Halifax, the last known location.
A lot of area to cover. We're out in sticks here.
Not one, but 2 missing children. A dog that barks at everything, a mother who left on the second day, a father who hasn't seen the kids in 3 years, and a stepfather trying to piece things together.
It's been a long 6 weeks. I know that everybody basically in the world at this point is always wanting to know like what happened.
The mystery of what happened to 6-year-old Lily Mae Sullivan and her 4-year-old brother Jack William James Sullivan is indeed gripping the country and beyond. It is Friday, May 2nd. Martell and his partner Malaya Brooks Murray, the children's mother, are having a lazy morning with their baby. Lily and Jack are in the kitchen alone.
Malaya and baby were asleep. Lily came in multiple times. I was not in deep sleep by any means. And then about 20 minutes passed, and then when I woke up, Malaya was right beside me. She was still asleep. And I said, I don't hear Lily and Jack.
The time, no one will say for sure, but police say it was around 10 a.m. when they got a 911 call.
I ran up in the woods to the kids. They have cabins up in the woods, which only took me like 30 seconds. I came right back down. She was on the phone with the RCMP.
For 6 days, crews tackled an exhaustive search. The children's mother took the baby to be with her family in another part of the province. Her mother told CBC News the RCMP told them not to speak with news reporters.
Tell you what we have here is the Don, Can't, and Grandis of Canada. Just look where they live. Don't get me wrong. I need to sweep my floors. There's a lot of stuff I need to do. Who in the hell, for one, can blame kids for going missing? We told them all the time to shut that door. Well, get off your lazy fucking ass and why don't you do it? Why don't you watch your children? What the hell's going on? Do you have a broken back? How long can you lay around? How long can you lay around? You send your kids out of the room? Oh, I don't hear them anymore. I guess we'll call 911. Ridiculous behavior. Holy shit. Now, I go to bed early. My friend Ange here, she sleeps in a little bit. We have different sleep patterns. You don't get your ass up to get him breakfast? Negligence, so be it. I think we should all agree on that. Where did not the boys, I'm used to saying boys because I have 3 sons. Where did the babies go? And this fighting about the sliding glass door is crazy. That's the reason I'm like, okay, we'll meet in the middle, and I'll say the one thing they took care of on that damn tin can they lived in was a sliding glass door. Either way, if you've ever had a 6-year-old and a 4-year-old, they are not quiet. No. TV is loud. They're loud. They want to eat. There's a lot of stuff. They're fighting over what they're going to watch. So get your ass out of bed. Now, I get where some people are saying abusive relationship. The mom wanted to get out of there. We already saw she got booted. All right? Daniel's mom said, get out of here. You're blaming my baby boy. I don't care that your kids are missing. Get the hell out of here. You can't blame my son. She's the Roberta Laundrie of Nova Scotia. All right? So she chucked old girl to the curb. Get out of here. Now, if this rumor is true and the kids are hiding out on this reservation, then there would not be a $150,000 reward for information. They're looking for something else.
Reporters. The RCMP says it just advised everyone to be mindful of the information they share publicly. On May 7th, police scaled back the search.
The probability of survival was taken into consideration.
But search crews returned for 2 more weekends until the end of May, searching wells, mine shafts, and septic systems, even flying a drone beneath the home.
The 4-year-old is wearing some blue dinosaur boots.
Police say they found a boot print. And listen to this in the radio chatter.
Okay, I'm going to pause it right there. Blue Jay said CPS took Meadow yesterday. I heard that as well. I just can't find anything to verify it. It's very odd to me that Daniel said, oh gosh, like a month or so ago, that he went to CPS because he wanted to see his child, as if they, all right, the Wi-Fi is coming back. Give me a second. Here we go. Should be better now. We've had a lot of storms. So he went to CPS. That's what I'm going to call it because, well, you know, common term. He went to CPS, wanted to see his child, and they basically said no. And I'm like, okay, did you think that she was like in the back room and they would just bring her out? And so now we have these new things, of course, on the internet. I haven't found an article saying that Meadow is officially with a foster family. And I don't believe Mom's on the run, and I really don't even believe CPS has gotten her. I just think I think there was so much going on at that house. So much going on. A lot of chaos. I mean, a lot of chaos. Blue Jay, can you grab the link and come up and tell me where you heard that? And I really don't want to bring the baby up too much. I just hope the baby is safe.
Families brought us to a location there, not far away, that there's a piece of a blanket.
Police won't say anything about a blanket, but Martell says a piece of Lily's blanket was found near the boot print. He says both children may have undiagnosed autism.
For a lot of people, this story just sounds odd.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand that?
Yes, I do. And I see it every day online.
He's keenly aware the public suspects him, says the police did too at the start.
Of course. The stepfather was always a prime suspect right off the beginning.
So he offered to take a polygraph test.
I was extremely nervous. Especially with the first question they asked you, did you kill Lily and Jack?
That was the first question they asked you?
Yeah. Yeah.
When did you find out the result of your test?
Immediately right after.
Which is common. They will tell you immediately right after. Undiagnosed autism means it's a couple of parents that don't want to parent, and they're probably hoping to get some extra money from the government to say their child has something wrong with them. No, there is nothing to say that they are autistic. That's crazy. Undiagnosed autistic, that's like me saying undiagnosed breast cancer. I thought I felt something, but I don't. I guess I got breast cancer and it's undiagnosed. Shut up, man. Quit trying to make up diseases for your kids. I get so sick of that shit. Because your child's having a little bit of trouble at school. That might be your fault.
What did they say to you?
You did a good job. You passed.
Hi, Kayla. How you doing?
The RCMP's Corporal Guillaume Tremblay is not an investigating officer, but he speaks for the force in Nova Scotia.
You know, it's quite rare that in my career, I've never seen two missing children go at the same time.
Was anything found in any of these searches that was deemed to be of significance? Even if you can't tell me what it was, anything of significance?
So I can tell you that the investigation is ongoing and that we haven't found any evidence to show that there was an abduction of the children.
Okay, here we go. We have no evidence to show there was an abduction. We have this fight every time we talk about Summer Wells. There's always some genius in the chat going, well, they said everything's on the table. That means she could actually have been abducted. It's different in America. Okay? America, we have the FBI card unit that says, no. Now, I'm going to do a little sociology project, okay? For some reason, sometimes people on the internet just want to hate. You know, the people that used to buy the National Enquirer, the Globe magazine, everything from Hillary Clinton's having a alien baby to anything they could get their hands on, because it makes them feel better about their worthless fucking lives. So again, little sociology for you. You have the case of Michael Vaughn. FBI card unit said, this is an abduction. People are screaming, going, they don't know what they're talking about. You know the parents did it. Please, I'm begging you. If you're wrong, you'll be okay. Follow what the police say. I'm telling you, please follow what they say. This is a no abduction case.
So you don't think they were abducted, but you can't find them. How do 2 young children just vanish?
That's a great question, Kayla. And we are asking for the public for tips and information.
He says the force has received close to 500 tips, some that have taken them elsewhere in the country. But the only confirmed sighting of Jack and Lily was the day before they disappeared in Nova Scotia. Martell says the children were seen on camera with the whole family. Still, police are asking for trail camera footage in the area dating back 5 days. They say they're trying to establish a timeline in the lead up to the disappearance.
So when teams are tasked, they get a bearing.
Crews have searched around 8.5 square kilometers.
Coming up through all of this stuff.
Amy Hansen has been the search manager for most of that. She's taking us into the woods to show us what her team has been dealing with.
The vast majority of it was probably from Fiona.
Downed trees from post-tropical storm Fiona 3 years ago.
This is actually fairly mild compared to some of the areas.
Over a total of 10 days, they searched for 12,000 hours.
It's pretty much unheard of in this province. It's the biggest search I've been involved in.
And she's been at this 22 years.
Do you think those kids are in the woods?
From everything I've seen, yes.
Why can't you find them?
They're small. They'd be hiding. They would have crawled underneath something probably when they got tired. They could have gone further than what we searched. There's all kinds of scenarios, unfortunately.
And that's playing heavily on the mind of this woman, Lily and Jack's paternal grandmother.
Their smiles are just beautiful.
She hadn't seen the children in nearly 2 years, a relationship left complicated after her son, their biological father, chose to stay out of their lives. She says he has been questioned by police 3 times.
A couple of days ago, they had contact and they told him that they weren't looking his way anymore, that everything was fine.
She says she joined the search herself as soon as she heard Lily and Jack were missing. She doesn't believe the children are in the woods.
There's no reason for any child to wander deep into the woods. There's just not.
The brush is just too thick.
It is way too thick. Way too thick.
Tonight is about saying a prayer.
She attended a vigil in Pictou County marking 1 month since the children went missing and says she feels the support of the community and beyond.
Well, these are everybody's grandchildren. They're not just mine now.
As she clings to cherished keepsakes,
this is Lily's handprint.
She is pleading for any information that could provide answers.
There is nothing more pure and innocent than a 6 and a 4-year-old. And they deserve so much better than what they got.
Grandma knows. They deserved so much better than what they got. I agree with Grandma. I agree with her. I do. You're looking at some of the woods that people talk about. The terrain, as people say, is taller than the kids. It doesn't take them too long to find a child. Between dogs and drones and helicopters and people walking side by side, they'll find them. I know some people say, well, what about the digital evidence? Not everyone has GPS in their car. Not everyone takes their phone with them when they're doing dirty business. I'm telling you right now, they just don't. I don't think about it. I just throw my shit in my purse and I go. That's it. That's what I do. I'm not worried about covering up a crime. The criminals are getting smarter. They really are. And I am not here to say Daniel did something, Malaya did something, Grandma did something, broke-ass uncle did something. That is 100% up for the investigators to figure out. $150,000. That has been put up by law enforcement. Law enforcement, okay? This is not some fake-ass pledge by a celebrity saying, oh, give me a call and I'll send you this money. No, this is from law enforcement. All right, this searcher thinks that the kids are actually still out in the woods. This came out 3 minutes ago. We're having a lover's quarrel in here. Jeremiah said, I told you they were abducted. Jeremiah. You're not working the case, my friend. I love having you around. Jeremiah says, I know for a fact it was that couple in the black Mercedes. Jeremiah, you don't know shit, man. You don't know shit. So let's stop that right now, okay? They've already said, they've investigated, there's no abduction. They're not offering 150. It's not ransom, my friend. Ransom would be for an abduction. Now, I don't know what you learned in the military, whatever you do, but I think you're a little way off here, okay? And you're getting all Chrissy hot and bothered because she has the hots for you. Look at Chrissy right here. She just said, oh, for fuck's sakes, you know nothing, Jeremiah. So we're not doing this.
From everything I've seen, yes. We got the first call shortly after 11 on Friday morning on the 2nd that there was 2 children lost up here in Lansdowne, and we just deployed the team and got here as fast as we could.
And when you got that first call, did anything stand out about that first call? Was it unique or unusual? Or?
It's not common to have 2 lost subjects in that kind of scenario. So with kids like that, it's not common to have the 2. It's not uncommon, so a pair of hikers is overdue or something like that. But with kids, it is a little uncommon to have 2 gone missing.
Have you found anything?
The only thing that we had was the boot prints that everybody, and we still cannot 100% say that they belong to the children, but that was pretty much the only thing that we had.
You think they're in the woods?
I have not been told anything to lead me to any other conclusion at this point.
Why can't you find them?
They're small, they'd be hiding. They would have crawled underneath something probably when they got tired. They could have gone further than what we searched. There's all kinds of scenarios, unfortunately.
I don't like how this searcher is getting, beat up on the internet. When you're doing a job like this, when you're looking for a child, don't you think it's better to have a optimistic attitude? You can't go, I couldn't imagine going into a case with missing children and being gloom and doom right off the bat. Law enforcement always says, we're not going to dismiss any possibility, but the evidence has to lead to. There would be a big problem if law enforcement, the people searching, just sat down and said, oh, we're not going to find him. We're not going to find him. We're not going to find him. No, that's ridiculous. Krista, thank you so much for the super sticker. She said, thanks for the sociology lesson, Brooks. No more drama. No, we're here to speak the truth. Only God knows the truth. And the people that'll tell it that are on this planet.
So we're on Lansdowne Road. It was in one of the areas that was searched extensively, as you can tell from like the flagging tape in the woods. So when teams are tasked, they get a bearing or a waypoint or both for where they're to start. So they come down into the woods and they'll tie a ribbon so they know where their start point is. And then they start on their compass bearing into the woods. As you can see another flag. So this is where they were going straight into the woods. So they're following their bearing, putting their flag line down and searching at the same time, coming up through all of this stuff.
How much of this is down because of Fiona?
A lot of this is down because of Fiona, and some of it could have come down after the fact, but the vast majority of it was probably from Fiona. So grid searching comes in different types. So we have type 1, type 2, and type 3. A type 1 is fairly open. So if we're looking more for signs of travel or say larger objects, so if we know they have a backpack or something like that.
Okay, this was said very early in. There could have been someone, it makes no sense to me, it's quite the coinky dink, that would be out in the woods and just happened to come across Lily and Jack and decided to take them. But Aaron, you have such a good point. Since their words, not mine, Malaya wouldn't get out of bed. Daniel didn't want to be bothered. And let's face it, it's Malaya's responsibility because she's the mama. She's the mama. She's the mama. How far would two little kids make it with no fuel in the tank? No fuel in the tank. No breakfast. Oh, look at the investigator's O-face. And Retro Girl, I'm going to give you a spanking. What you doing there? A super sticker? Woo! Thank you. That's quite an O-face.
We can space people out, 10, 20 meters apart. And especially if we think somebody's going to be responsive, so they're going to talk to us when they're calling to us, we'll do open. We were doing closed grid or type 2, so teams were very close together because we were expecting children to be hiding. A lot of children that age range will hide. So if we're 20 meters apart in some of these woods, you can't see 2 feet away from you. Like there would be places where teams would be almost able to touch their fingertips together and they couldn't actually see each other through the bushes. It's that thick in places.
So how does this compare to what your teams have been dealing with?
This is actually fairly mild compared to some of the areas.
Mild? It looks like such a mess.
It does look like a mess, and you got the thorn bushes and the deadfalls, but there's places that are actually a lot worse, but there are places that are a little bit better as well.
Mm-hmm. But what would be worse?
A lot more deadfall. You can get places where it's just deadfall on top of deadfall on top of deadfall, and you literally have to crawl underneath of it or climb over top of it.
You were also saying, though, to the general public, don't come help us. Why did you say that?
We don't want the general public in the area because we use a lot of very specialized assets like canines that are looking for the freshest human scent they can find. So if we have somebody from the public go through an area and we don't know, but we were deliberately waiting to send a canine into that area, that canine could get on the track from that person, and then we've just wasted that resource because once that dog's probably done its track, they're probably exhausted and can't go out and do anything else. And same as drones, if we're flying a drone over the area and we get a heat signature from somebody in an area and we can't identify who or what it is, then we have to send GSAR resources in.
I'm so glad this searcher is explaining this because I know so many people get so upset and they go, why can't the public go out and search? Why can't they go out and search? because they're using heat-seeking drones. So when you got old Earl from down the street running around in the woods, they're going to get him and not the kids. It messes up the dogs. It does all kinds of things. They're the professionals. You ask me to go search for something, okay? I can find car keys. I can find my husband's wallet. You tell me that a person's missing from around here? You really think my ass is going to go out there and find them? I wouldn't know where to start. I wouldn't know what to do. You think me and OJ are going to go out there? OJ, could you do it? OJ? OJ's laying under the fan. Actually, OJ is laying on the exercise bike right now so he can get a good breeze. You really think I would know where to search? How to get through it? What to do? Hell no. Thank you so much, Joy Jones, for the super sticker. You rock star. Me love you long time.
Or police resources to confirm who that is. And in the same breath, a lot of it comes down to training. So our people are trained to look for the little things, the footprints, the pieces of clothing that are discarded, the broken branches, the spots where somebody might have crawled in underneath something and had a nap or something like that. So they're very clue sensitive is what we call it. They're clue finders. So we're not just looking for the two children. We're looking for all the evidence of them going through the area, which is a big part of what we do. So when the boot print was found, we told the team just to send us the coordinates. We got a picture. Yeah, it looks like a children's rubber boot print, which is what we were looking for. Conversed with the incident commander. Yeah, we sent an RCMP K9 in first. Then we sent human tracking teams, so like man trackers. So we have some members that have been trained to do tracking themselves. We sent them in and we did some grid searching in the area just to follow up. And then the RCMP forensics unit went in and did actually a cast of the boot print. We did investigate a few wells and mine shafts. The teams came across them in the woods, so they would look in them as best they could. There was one mine shaft we actually ended up flying a drone into to see if there was any sign of anything going in there because it wasn't safe to send people in. And there was no sign of any disturbance or anything inside.
Okay, so I think she's checking all the boxes, okay? Dogs, drones, helicopters, dogs flew drones down into wells. No sign of a human. I kind of leaned that way for a little bit when I heard about the mine shafts. They're like all around the area. And I thought, well, what if one fell in and the other one tried to get the other one out? Hold on. I got to answer a few things. Aaron said the children did not have a scythe to cut a path. What's their motivation? Barely clothed to walk through harsh, prickly foliage. Hungry. It's raining. Makes no sense. You're right. T-Walk said, does anyone know who put the $150,000 up for a reward? What I read is law enforcement.
Inside the mine shaft. So I know they're still doing investigation. Anytime a tip comes in, they follow right up on it. So
do you feel it's been searched as well as it can be searched?
What has been searched very well. Very extensive. With over 12,000 hours put in on the search. It's pretty much unheard of in this province. All searches are hard unless we have a good ending, obviously. But some hit closer to home than others do. There was members that couldn't bring themselves to call the names, but other people on the team were, so it wasn't impeding the search effort, but because of personal reasons, they couldn't actually physically call for the names themselves.
They just couldn't say the words.
They couldn't get it out, no, for whatever reason they had. And there was people coming to the end of it that, whether it was physically, they were just exhausted, or mentally exhausted, that couldn't return to the search area as well. So we saw a little bit lower numbers on some of the revisit searches that we did with some of the teams.
For that first weekend search, after, the searches scaled back on May 7th,
yeah,
what were you told when you got that call? Like, why were you going back?
It was actually a conversation. I was meeting with major crimes on a regular basis, going through the paperwork from the search and showing them what was covered and what wasn't covered. And it was actually a conversation had between us that, yeah, there's some areas that we would like to go in and get covered off, either better or new areas that we said, well, there's a possibility, so we want to just go search those areas as well. So it's not uncommon for us to go back to a search if we haven't found something.
What prompted then the second weekend search?
Basically the same thing, just more areas that we really wanted to see get covered and just expand out on what we had done.
So just to be clear, it was not as a result of the new information?
It was not, no.
I think it gave some people in the public hope.
Yes.
You know, like, oh, maybe they found something there in that area they're looking. It wasn't that.
It was not. So it was just that we wanted to extend out our search area and cover off areas. Most of these people, they're all volunteers. They just want to find the kids and bring them home. So they're more than willing to keep coming back and keep searching. Unfortunately, at this point, unless something comes up, we're probably not going to be back. But that being said, somebody could find something that brings us back. Children just bring out the best in people when we're in a situation like this.
Absolutely. And when they've got 12,000 hours in and tons of equipment, and they're like, it has been searched extensively. You know, another thing, you know, we see in these cases, people say, well, we've heard it in Harmony's case, Gannon Stout's case, Summers' case, Sebastian's case, and like, why aren't they out looking? Because they know they're not there. They have to go a different way with their investigation. Okay? It might be painstaking, but it's not that, I shouldn't say for myself. Kids know where home is. Kids know when they're hungry. Kids know when they're thirsty. They would be screaming, and we know Lily has got a set of lungs on her. And it doesn't seem, oh, right there. Susan just read my mind. It doesn't seem feasible to me that a kidnapper was just waiting in the woods to find a couple of kids unsupervised. And remember, they haven't found anything. Nothing. Yeah, there's a footprint. She said they took a cast of. Aaron said, you know what it'd be like to walk in those clunky rubber boots? Clumsy, hard to even walk. And hell, let's face it. Their damn shoes didn't fit. Hell no. It would pull the boots right off. There would be a boot. There would be something somewhere. All right, now let's get to what Daniel said yesterday. He really, at this point, is the only one talking. This is from CBC, Nova Scotia. Ah, shit. I knew this would happen today. All right, let's go ahead and give Zach Walker his round of applause. We've been going back and forth about Oklahoma City Thunder and the Pacers. Well, the Pacers won last night, but it's not over till it's over. And remember, either I have to wear a Pacers shirt or he has to wear an Oklahoma City Thunder shirt. So let's go ahead and give Zach Walker a pat on the back for the Pacers win last night. What happens when I run my big ass mouth. Karma said, it ain't over till it's over. It ain't over till it's over. Woo! That's what I'm talking about. Woo, okay, so let's see what Daniel has to say. Or some people call him the Don Wells of Canada. That's harsh. That is harsh, but could be true.
I didn't kill Lily and Jack.
It's been 6 weeks now since you've seen Lily and Jack. I just want to ask, how are you holding up?
It's been a long 6 weeks. I know that everybody basically in the world at this point is always wanting to know like what happened. It's been from sadness to anger at this point. And I know the RCMP and major crimes are working around the clock trying to piece everything together, and I'm grateful for that. But it always leaves the question, 6 weeks has gone by, and we know at this point they're not in the woods. And where are they?
Did you feel in the beginning that they suspected you?
Of course. The stepfather was always a prime suspect right off the beginning.
You felt that from the beginning?
Yeah.
But you don't feel that now?
No, I don't feel that at all. I asked for the lie detector exam, the polygraph exam. I gave them my phone. I told them I do drug tests because there's a lot of rumors online about a drug party. I know the person that said those rumors, and it was just to take the heat off themselves.
Was there any kind of party?
No.
Okay, again, define party. Oh, there she is, everybody. Big T is in the house. Everyone, Big T's here. Please give her some love. She just finished dialysis. Big T is in the house. Big T is in the house. Big D is in the house. Yep. Let's send her some love, everyone. And I'm so glad you checked in, Big T. I mentioned what happened yesterday when I told everybody about what's going on with your health. As you can see, Aggie is not here. Cat OG said, I'm very behind in the stream, but I'm absolutely furious with Aggie. Yep, that was horrible. That was a horrible thing to do to Big T. But we're all here for you, baby. We are here.
Was there any kind of gathering that someone might have thought was a party?
No.
There were no people at the house?
No. Not the night before.
Okay, you mentioned you offered to take a polygraph test.
Yeah.
Did the RCMP take you up on that?
Yes, it did.
And how did that unfold?
That unfolded in my favor. They obviously know I wasn't lying about anything.
So they said, "Yep, great, thank you. Come in for a polygraph test."
Yeah, it took a little while to set up. And
when did you do that test?
I don't know the exact date, but that would be at least 3 weeks ago, probably.
So roughly 3 weeks after the disappearance.
Yeah.
And I think most Canadians wouldn't have any idea what's involved with that. Can you describe the process? You go in and just tell us right from the start.
We go in, sit down in a big comfy chair, and they have multiple sensory pads. You have them underneath your forearms.
Okay. We're not really concerned about the sensory pads and all that stuff. I think anyone that follows true crime knows how it goes down. I've never had one. Don't want one. Vibes. You're so right. Just because someone said they saw a bunch of people over there, he said no, not the night before. Not the night before. So what night? Could it have been Tuesday night? The night before the kids went to school? I mean, not the night before school was called out? I don't know. And somebody that is trying to cover up for their own bad doing, okay, is certainly not going to inject themselves into such a high profile case. You know, some people, regardless of the way they live, really want to do the right thing. I'm telling you, they really do. And if they say, I saw a bunch of cars over there. Could have been Sunday night, could have been Monday night, could have been Tuesday night. I don't know. Who knows? It could have been a bunch of junk cars he's trying to sell on Facebook Marketplace. I don't know. But he said, no, not the night before. Hey, look, y'all want to have a party? You're grown adults. Has nothing to do with me. But what an odd thing to say. No, not the night before. At this point, I don't care if they had a whole hoorah Tuesday night or Wednesday night. We know the kids were seen Thursday afternoon. We know that. Okay? We know it. So we know they were alive on Thursday afternoon. That's been verified by law enforcement. Friday is when the call was made that they couldn't find the kids. Now, he really wants to clear his name. The only ones that can do it are law enforcement. And to do that, they need what's called evidence. We've done this before. We'll do it again. What is the word of the day?
What's today's secret word?
Ooh, interesting question. Let's go and ask Cocky.
Evidence. Evidence. Speculate all you want. It will get you nowhere in a hurry. It is a dead end street.
You have them underneath your butt, and you have them underneath your feet with your shoes off. You have a sweat gland on one finger. You have a measuring instrument for blood flow that goes in and out of your hand. And you have a cuff on your arm for blood pressure to measure your pulse.
Were you nervous?
Yeah, I was extremely nervous. Especially with the first question I asked you, did you kill Lily and Jack?
That was the first question they asked you.
Yeah. Yeah.
What went through your mind when someone's asking you that question so point blank like that?
Your mind has a massive release of chemicals, I guess you would call them. Just, it's like your stress levels just astronomically through the roof, and your body doesn't know what to do because it's not every day the way you're hooked up to machines in an interrogation room where someone asks you questions like that.
What other kinds of questions did they ask you?
All the questions pertain to the death of Lily and Jack. Are you accessory to the murder of Lily and Jack? They were all.
So all of the questions assumed that the children are no longer alive.
Yeah.
Whoa. Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Everyone needs, well, I don't care about polygraphs. And when I say I don't care, I mean I do not care. It's only for law enforcement. Interesting that they already had it in their mind that the children are no longer in the living. So I understand that everyone's against Daniel, probably rightfully so. Where's his trailer critter mama? Where's his brother? Where's Malaya? Where's her mama? And this whole sick kid scenario is impossible. Your kids are sick. I think we all know it's all hands on deck. It's all hands on deck. Kids are sick. The kids are sick. We'll get to the bio dad in a second. because I was wrong about him. And I have no problem saying I'm wrong.
There were no questions at all about, did you take them somewhere? Could
No.
they be somewhere?
No.
The police have done a number of polygraph tests. They've done 53 formal interviews. Do you know who these people are?
Yeah.
That's a lot of interviews.
It is a lot of interviews. A lot of them are my family, people that live in the area. And those interviews, typically, my interview was 4 hours. And a lot of the interviews from my family were 1, 2 hours. So there's a lot of time taken up, and they ask detailed questions.
Do you know who else actually took a polygraph test?
I mean, I do, but I'm not going to say anything that's going to impede the investigation.
Okay. When did you find out the result of your test?
Immediately right after.
What did they say to you?
You did a good job, you passed.
And how did that feel?
Good.
And did you feel that there was any further suspicion on you after that point, or was that sort of conclusive?
No, that was really when I seen the turning point for it's starting to taper off with investigators.
Do you know if Malaya has taken one?
I don't know if I can say it, but I will anyway. Yes, she did take one.
Okay, she took one. Do you know the result?
No. RCP weren't allowed to tell me. I asked.
You said you feel like everyone in the world wants to know what happened to Lily and Jack.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think this is getting so much attention?
Well,
because it's damn impossible. That's why. It's damn impossible. And I understand a lot of people are hung up and hung up and hung up and hung up on this polygraph test. Who gives a shit? It's not for me. It's not for you. It's not for a judge. It's not for a jury. A prosecutor cannot be swayed by it. You all have time for a fun fact? Anyone? Put a 1 in if you have time for a fun fact. Stacey Wandra is a suspect, a named suspect in the abduction of Michael Vaughn. According to him, and I will say some people that are in the know, he passed his polygraph. He also confessed to being involved. So, no one gives a shit about a polygraph. What we do on this channel, my friends, is we look at what the people themselves say, what law enforcement says. Now, if your favorite YouTuber, besides me, of course, wants to put ideas in your head and you can't make up your own mind, so be it. We don't do that around here. But remember, this is all the wisdom I have for you today. Polygraphs are an investigation tool. And the pass or fail is not, oh, wow, you did really great. You did really great. You did really great. You don't get a damn report card. I know Fred Hill put out a fake one time. Wasn't that a damn joke? Alerts, again, are to alert the public, but they're mainly for law enforcement.
Just the mysterious and nature of everything and how strange everything is. The RCMP, you know, I mean, they have to keep a tight lip on everything, but there's a lot more that meets the eye with the case.
Is there something that you think the public doesn't know that you can share that you want the public to know?
That's a hard one because I don't want to impede the investigation in any way. It is still a missing persons investigation. It hasn't pivoted to any type of criminal investigation. But the kids were seen the day before. I know A lot of people didn't know that. I still see a lot of stuff online that the kids could have been missing for days. They were out of school for days, and they were seen in the Glasgow area on camera the day before this appearance in the afternoon.
Where was that?
I don't know if I can say that, but it was near the Highland Square Mall.
Okay. So they took the sick kids, not six kids, the sick kids to the mall. Okay. Sick kids to the mall. Near the Highland Mall is what he said. Cool. Super duper. Super duper. That's fine. Southern Shortcake said, could police tell him he passed when he really failed? I don't know why they would do that. I don't know why they would do that. But I mean, maybe they could, but I don't know how it works in Canada. Sud said Madeline Soto was seen on camera too. Yeah, she was seen dead. She was seen dead in the murderer's car.
Was it with you?
It was with me, Malaya, and Meadow, and Willie and Jack were there too.
And are the police aware of that?
The police were aware of that since.
Do they have that video?
Yes, they do. I also talked to my coworker in the parking lot as well, and he verified that with investigators as well. So for all the speculation, they were gone days ahead of time, or they were seen the afternoon on camera before this disappearance.
Why do you think the police are asking for video dating back?
Ding, 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 ding. Not that we care about polygraphs around here, but great job, Ilyanka. Or maybe it's Daniel lying about passing his poly. Remember, he's saying that the questioning was about murder. Okay? Red rum. That's what he says he was being asked. Don't know, wasn't there. He could be absolutely 100% not involved in a murder, but involved in something else. Hate that polygraph shit. I just hate it. Can't stand even talking about it.
So for all the speculation, they were gone days ahead of time, or they were seen the afternoon on camera before this disappearance.
Why do you think the police are asking for video dating back, days before that?
Well, the reason for that is they want to see the traffic of the vehicles on the roads in the area, right? Maybe vehicles that were traveling that area a lot over the last few days prior to hand, or vehicles that, weren't seen in the area, or vehicles that were seen in the area, like local people that are, you know what I mean, making frequent trips past the house, or which it's all considered evidence. I mean, more pictures and videos is the better.
They say they have hundreds of hours of video.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know if they found anything on those videos?
I think it was up to 2 weeks ago, they had footage that they examined for evidence that was 8 kilometers diameter out from the house. So that was after a month. That's how long it took to get footage and review it 8 kilometers out. So
but what's on the video?
I don't know. I'm only limited by what they tell me.
How often are they in touch with you?
Investigators now, I'd say maybe once every 5 days. And usually I'm the one who calls or messages them.
And how's that changed over the course of the 6 weeks?
Well, from the beginning, it was almost daily, tapering off to where it's only like once every 5 days now.
And how do you feel about that?
It's good and bad. I mean, I like to talk to them in person about any little small details I come up with or anything I can try to bring to their attention, which may help the investigation. So I don't get to see them often, so it's always over phone or messaging, and it's hard to really convey what you want to say when you're...
No offense to Jack and Lily, because obviously they are missing without a trace. There is a huge reward for information to help law enforcement. Exotic Prairie said, ask him if he's worried about his baby, his flesh and blood, his daughter being in Malaya's care. Now, this is a very interesting comment for a lot of reasons. For one, you would think Daniel would just kind of hang back and be like, they're not my kids, but hey, everyone keeps blaming me, so I'm going to keep talking. You know, some people can talk their way into a corner with fresh paint in it, and they'll paint themselves right in it. If Malaya is this horrible, horrible mother, and she's the hoe of Nova Scotia, why are you not trying to get your child, your daughter, back in your custody? And by the way, if anyone did that, they'd be out of their minds, because that place is a mess. That place is a mess.
Not in person. But then I also know the eye's not on me. The investigators don't see me as part of the disappearance.
How do you know that?
Well, when you're going from daily to tapering off every 5 days, I mean, I've already gave them everything on my phone. I'm the one who originally said, here, take my phone. We'll go through all my banking information. We'll go through all my stuff on my GPS from Google.
And you were offering all that up right from the
Yeah, I
beginning.
offered everything.
And why were you doing that?
To show them that I want to get the investigation moving. I know I have nothing to do with any of it. A lot of speculation is you killed the kids. We'll just come out and say it straight as it is.
What do you think when you read that?
It's a lot of nonsense, obviously. I know the truth. I didn't kill Lily and Jack. And I just think a lot of people online they're seeking drama. That's the main thing. Everybody's allowed their own opinion, like I said before, but it's hard on the people that were actually there and missing the children. Still haven't got to see any of my kids, including Lily and Jack. And that's been really tough, going from a family of 7, including my other 2 kids that live in Halifax now, going from a family of 7 in the blink of an eye, your family's ripped apart and you're left alone.
Woo! 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 I think the best thing for old Danny boy to do is quit talking. Quit talking. Because in that small segment, which is actually a 2-hour interview that was edited, facts, I do know, that's what they use. That's the reason sometimes with the media I go, okay. Because nothing in this world works without the truth, okay? And I don't like it, especially when it comes to crime. Crimes against children, especially. When people have decided to make up their mind without having an open mind to even possibly think there's something else going on. Suds has advice for Daniel. He said best thing for him to do is get a vasectomy. All right, here's another comment of the day. Thank you, Suds. Yeah, wrap that sucker up, Daniel. All right, another grade A loser in this case. And no, I'm not talking about grandma. I'm talking about the biological father of Lily and Jack. We have heard he lives in British Columbia. We have heard all kinds of things about him. He's in and out of jail. He's got a court hearing. Well, evil exists, and no offense to evil exists, because I love that channel and we can be wrong. Is it okay to be wrong? Put a 1 in chat to say it's okay to be wrong. It's okay. It really is. It's okay. We're humans, correct? We're not the all-knowing. But the absentee father who lives with his mama, who is obviously heartbroken, tells me even more about the family dynamics than I really ever needed to know. Because grandma is broken. She is broken.
Babies are gone. My heart tells me that. I am the grandmother of Lily and Jack. I am the grandmother on the biological father's side. My son is Cody Sullivan. He's not in jail. He's never been out west. He does not have a criminal record. And right now he's living with me. He has been for 9 months.
Okay, so let's give Cody Sullivan a cookie. He doesn't have a criminal record, but he doesn't take care of his kids. He's never been out west, but he lives with his mama and doesn't do a damn thing for his kids. Okay? I'm just going to surmise it for you. Is it parental alienation? I don't know. She says in this interview, he decided to stay away. Aunt Daphne said he did not want to go to look for his kids because he did not want to be around those people. Holy shit. Y'all know how much I hate fat fucking Frank next door to me? Even if fat fucking Frank next door to me was missing, I would give a damn. Okay? I tell you what, some of these men and some of these women, tell you what, they love that horizontal boogaloo. They love the attention with having a bun in the oven. But when they see a real living human being that needs 24/7 care, they get bored.
How did you find out that Lily and Jack were missing?
The mama of my grandson called me. We were in town. She asked if I heard the news. She sent me the article that was on Facebook showing the kids missing. I couldn't call Malaya yet, so I waited till we got home. And I called, well, I didn't call her, I texted her. And she told me that, yes, that the kids were missing, that they've been missing since this morning. I was in a state of panic, shock. But in the back of my mind, I kept saying, well, they'll find them. I mean, I'm assuming that they'd find them. So I...
Whew. All right. The rumors are Malaya was abused by Cody. Malaya's abused by Daniel. What the hell is she? The Katie Proudfoot of Nova Scotia? She knows how to pick them, doesn't she? How many men can knock you up and beat your ass till you learn your goddamn lesson? Come on, ladies. As women, we have to stick together. All right? And these women that keep having these babies, I call it babies for bank. And this poor woman is still raising a baby, and that is horrible. Horrible. We all get lonely. That's true. And it's not hard, depending on your cycle and your fertility. I'm not going to say anything about a woman that has a baby, because I'm telling you something right now. All my kids came out looking like they were ready for kindergarten, and they have my birth control pill in their fingers. Not talking about that. However, you had 9 months to prepare. And so did Daddy. But here we are, another woman, grandma, that's taking care of a grown man. And you can tell she is a very nice lady.
I'm assuming that they'd find them. So I told her, well, we'll head out first thing in the morning and help with the search. It was around between 3 and 3:30 in the morning. A couple of cop cars pull into the driveway. The lights wake me up that I'm a fairly light sleeper, so I see the cars pull in, so I knew what it was. So they come inside. They only stood in the kitchen. They wanted me to wake Cody up, and they wanted to know when was the last time he had seen the kids, and that they were just making sure that the kids weren't here. And then they left. So we showed up Saturday morning, me and my sister, and we met up with my daughter, and we started, well, I asked Malaya, I said, Malaya, I said, you know your kids. Nobody knows their kids like their mom. Where do your kids normally go to play out in the yard? What direction do they usually like to explore? And she said, well, they always play up in the little woods right on the side. I said, well, okay. I said, we'll start from that point and we'll.
All right. I'm not saying that grandma is prime time ready. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying she's ready for the media. I do look at people's simple speech pattern. And when grandma is talking about her own grandchildren, and she shows up the next day and she says to Malaya, where do your kids normally play? Where do they play? I'm not saying she doesn't care. I just don't like when grandma, grandpa, dad, I can't do the aunts, uncles, cousins, and all that stuff, when they have taken themselves out of the equation. The kids don't deserve that. Listen to her again.
My daughter, and we started, well, I asked Malaya, I said, Malaya, I said, you know your kids. Nobody knows their kids like their mom. Where do your kids normally go to play out in the yard? What direction do they usually like to explore? And she said, well, they always play up in the little woods right on the side. I said, well, okay. I said, we'll start from that point and we'll work our way out. We had spoken to a search and rescue, and we weren't allowed on the other side because that's where they were searching at the time. So we just started combing through the woods up through there. We were gone for a couple of hours. I'm yelling for Lily and Jack. We always call Jack Jackie Boy.
And at the end of the day, what can grandma really do? What do you do to fix your adult kids' problems? What are you going to do? Yell at them? I don't know the laws in Canada, because, I mean, could she have... Looks like her house is 10 times nicer than that rat trap that Malaya and Daniel lived in. I don't know the laws there. Is there any way that Daniel could have said, no, where you're living is unfit? Who in this scenario, I want your opinion, not mine, because you all are more important here. Who in this scenario didn't give a damn? Who?
yeah, that went on for a few hours, but those woods, I started to feel that I can't see them being in the woods. There's trees everywhere. You literally have to climb over trees, climb under bushes. It is really, really thick. We come back out and I went in to see Malay again. I assumed she was in shock. She was very, very non-emotional, very just flat, monotone. But Malay is very soft-spoken anyway.
Okay, this is interesting for me because she said, well, Malay is soft-spoken anyway. She's very monotone. However, soft-spoken or not, you know, you're sitting around and your children can be out in the woods. You couldn't get off your ass to make breakfast for the kids or make sure they were in the house. So now they're missing. And you're still unemotional. You're still unemotional. Now, I don't know what kind of pharmaceuticals we have going on here, what kind of rugs, whatever, but I believe Grandma 100%. Now, I mentioned earlier when she said to Malaya, your kids. That would be a normal thing for a grandma to say when she is only called when there's a problem. She's probably been told over and over and over, and I'm sure Cody has been too. These are my kids. 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 We've all known those women. These are my kids. Then you see Daniel. He can't provide for shit. He can't provide for shit. Look at him. Look where they were living. Oh, they play over there in the woods. Well, where do your kids normally play? Grandma says. Oh, normally over there in the woods. Oh, okay. Well, I guess we'll look there. Well, looks like search and rescue won't let us go any further because they're searching in another place. And yes, it has been searched.
That she's not usually excitable. I thought that's made her a really great mom. She was an excellent mom. She never raised her kid or voice at the kids. That it was always, now Lily, what did mommy say? And I used to think, now if anybody's meant to be a mom, it was her. A part of me still feels that.
Why only a part of you still feels that? What do you mean?
After seeing the place, seeing the condition of the home, it was like the total opposite of what I knew of Malaya.
You all can insert what you think is going on. The Waco compound with David Koresh looks better than this, okay? Dawn and Candace Wells, their home looks better than this. Freaking Ruby Ridge looks better than this. And no, I don't have any issue with people defending their property. I'm just talking about OMG. All right? Look at it. So Grandma's taken up for her. She's saying she was meant to be a mommy, always saw. how she would speak to the children. She goes, then I saw the condition of the place.
She was always clean, very clean about herself, about the kids, about her home. This home looked more like a camp. Now, I don't know if it's from all the people that were there because I didn't show up till the day after, but it was very unkempt. I was pretty surprised.
I love you.
Lily is, she was my little dream girl, the first granddaughter. And I loved that she had the brown hair and she had a space between her teeth, which I had when I was a kid. So yeah, she was our little princess. Jack was such a sober, serious little baby that he didn't like to smile. You could tickle him and he would look at you ever so serious, like he was really studying you.
And so how long were your son and Malia together?
3.5 years. Ever so serious, like he was really studying you.
And so how...
Now, you can see Grandma has a nice house, a nice yard. You can see she has a playhouse for grandchildren. What exactly was going on that Malia was hiding? Hey, hate your ex all you want, but love the kids more. Grit your teeth the minute you hear their name and say, I cannot believe I ever got on that pogo stick. But the kids are more important. You can see Grandma has a nice house, a nice yard. You see a little playhouse in the back with a little Canadian flag on it. So what was going on? Grandma knows more, but she was trying to be gracious, in my opinion, hoping things would change.
How long were your son and Malia together?
3.5 years, I think it was, yeah. I thought they were the picture-perfect family. Then Malia started to tell me that they were having problems and she wasn't happy. She told me that she wasn't happy and she thinks she's going to leave. And I told her that we supported whatever she decides, that one good parent is way better than 2 broken ones.
Poor Grandma. She said, I support you because one good parent is better than 2 broken ones. All right, so there's your boom moment right there. So when people say, oh, she's hiding out because Daniel's such an asshole to her and they're hiding out on the reservation and in 6 weeks they can't find anyone to go out there and search for the kids. Bullshit. Bullshit. If she had the nerve, I can't even say the nerve, if she had the gumption to say, I'm not happy and I'm going to get away from here. I'm going to get away from Cody. I'm taking the kids. I'm going somewhere else. And by the way, both can be good parents, but you got to participate. They both can. So if she tells Cody, she tells her mother-in-law, I'm not happy. We support you. So why couldn't she do it with Daniel and his crazy ass mother? And don't tell me Daniel's family is not crazy, because nobody would live that way. Let me tell you the change, my friends, and of course this is only in my opinion. It was the shit they were taking. Don't feed me more bull about postpartum depression, body shaming, and not feeling sexy after having babies. Bullshit.
And then how did that change your relationship with Lily and Jack?
I thought it was going to change, but it didn't. Yeah, it didn't change. Malaya, she was a sweetheart. Anytime we wanted to see the kids, she'd come by for a visit. She'd bring them by all the time. It was actually really, really good.
So when was the last time you saw the children?
A year and a half, almost really. It's about a year and 9 months.
Bingo. That's what's changed. And that change is not laziness. It's not having a new baby. There is something that they were doing that they had to hide from other people. However, Daniel's mama wouldn't give a shit. Okay? Daniel's brother wouldn't give a shit. And they were so up to their earlobes in it that they didn't even pay attention to the condition of where they were living. Hence why you can lay around and sleep it off and not even get up to get your kids breakfast. Okay? Telling you. That doesn't equate murder. I'm telling you. But it is negligent behavior. Almost 2 years since Grandma here has seen the kids.
How did you deal with that?
Really, to be honest, maybe I didn't deal good enough with it. I looked at the fact that when her and my son separated, my son walked away. He chose to walk away, that she wanted sole custody of the kids. So she petitioned the courts for sole custody, and when she did that, he said he was done.
Were you ever formally questioned?
Yes.
So then it's about a month after Lily and Jack are last seen that they come and formally question you.
So it's about 3 weeks. They questioned Cody for an hour and a half in the vehicle, and then they questioned me for 2 hours in the vehicle.
How did that feel to you?
I didn't mind. I mean, to me, I expected I'm the grandmother, so it wasn't a surprise to me. I'm assuming the sooner they do all that, I wish they would have done it sooner, that the sooner they can move on. So I didn't have a problem. My son was a little upset about it. He said they made him feel like he did something wrong, and he said he hadn't seen the kids in 3 years. So he was a little upset about it, that he said that they really come at him hard. They wanted to know what her favorite color was, and he said, they were babies when I seen them last. He said, she was just learning what she wanted to figure out to eat. I don't know what her color is. So yeah, he was pretty upset.
Have they ever talked to him again since then?
A couple of days ago, they had contact, and they told him that they weren't looking his way anymore, that everything's fine.
And have they ever given you any information?
No, it's always the same thing.
Which is what?
They've got everybody on it. They are looking at all avenues. They can't divulge any information that could compromise their investigation. It's the exact same words.
Why are you so sure they're not in the woods?
I have children. I have grandchildren. And I see what kids are like through the woods. There's no reason for any child to wander deep into the woods. There's just not. I think somebody hurt these kids. I think somebody hurt them.
Wow. I think we can all agree she's got an enabling bone in her body. Okay? I think we got it. All right? I think we can all agree. There's no reason for a child to wander that deep into the woods to the point they can't be found. That's what she's saying. Let me process this, and let's thank Pat for gifting Crime Lines and Lies memberships. And remember, what Grandma is saying is her opinion, but her gut feeling is that someone hurt them. Listen to her again.
streets are like through the woods. There's no reason for any child to wander deep into the woods. There's just not. I think somebody hurt these kids. I think somebody hurt them.
You don't sound very hopeful.
No. Our last day searching on Monday and seeing the woods and seeing the searchers and everybody everywhere. There's no way those kids are in the woods. There is nothing more pure and innocent than a 6 and a 4-year-old. And they deserve so much better than what they got.
And I'm going to leave it right there because I agree with Grandma. They deserve so much better than what they got. We don't know what happened. We don't know. We have no idea. We know something bad happened because it's been 6 weeks and a little more. You have a grandma who you can tell she's crying her face off. You don't see that emotion. You don't see that power. You don't see that reaction from anyone else. Hey, you can't find Grandmeth. You can't find her living there on the property. She won't show her face. And even if she wants to be off camera, she hasn't said shit. She hasn't said nothing. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I have full faith in this law enforcement that they are going to get to the bottom of this. Will it be in Nova Scotia? I don't know. I don't know. Seems to me something might have happened the day before and they got the call on Friday morning. You know, we don't plan for our kids to be sick for 2 days unless we're, pulling a little slinky dink saying, oh yeah, I'm going to call the kids in sick because we have things to do. No. And say I didn't get out of bed. I wanted to sleep. This is a lot. This really is. Now, how soon will they crack the case? I don't know. They obviously have a lot of stuff to go through. They damn sure do. But the only one that is not giving them information is the mama. And that is what's really irritating me. Everyone is talking except for the biological mom and the biological dad. And if they know, they know. They have totally different rules in Canada than we do here. What really pisses me off is that as a family, everyone should come together. Okay? There are people that hate each other's guts. But when it comes to a child, everyone puts differences aside and they say, we're going to do this for the greater good. Because our disagreements are not important. But the love we have for our child is way bigger than how much I hate your ass. It's disgusting and it's sad. I hope you all have a great weekend, and I will see you back here on Monday. I'm telling you what, I got quite a show for you. Are you going to be here on Monday? Remember, it doesn't matter what we're talking about, whether it's Lily and Jack, a refresher on Madeline Soto. We have a show for Michael Vaughn next week. It's going to be his birthday. We always have the best mod squad in the world, -1 after what her ass pulled yesterday. And either way, everything's always A-okay. But I will see you guys back here Monday morning at 9 a.m. Thank you so much for being here and always being on the right side of what's going on and being here for the right reasons.